A while back, Xiaomi entered India and changed the game. They offered great value for money products at a never before seen price. Since then, smartphone manufacturer or Chinese smartphone manufacturer offered great value for money products and flagship for just $400 or even to $300. So smartphone industry is yet to see another revolution. So today we will be taking a look at the top 5 smartphones under $200. But before we do, what's in a name? But still, this is Jonathan from Tech Teachers. Let's get started. So the fifth spot in our list is stolen by none other than the Motorola Moto G 3rd Gen. Yes, it has a 5-inch 720p HD display, a decent IPS one, a 13 megapixel rear camera, 5 megapixel front facing shooter and a 1.4 GHz quad-core Snapdragon 410 SoC with a 16 gigs of onboard storage and 2 gigs of RAM. The only feature that Moto G 3rd Gen has and none other smartphone in this list has is IP67 dust and waterproof resistant. That means if you slip your smartphone into the toilet, you can go grab someone, pay him $10 in order to take your smartphone out. This alone makes it a sweet deal. So the next phone in our list is stolen by a Chinese smartphone manufacturer which released Nexus smartphone. Yes, I'm talking about Huawei. Huawei's spin-off Honor. Yeah, Honor released its latest and yet mid-range smartphone Honor 5X for just $12,999. For that price, it offers all-metal unibody design with a fingerprint scanner, a great fingerprint scanner that we have seen in Nexus smartphone, along with a 5.5-inch Full HD IPS display with a 401 ppi. It has a 13 megapixel rear camera, front 5 megapixel selfie shooter. By the way, both cameras can shoot 1080p video. Powering it all up, it has a 3000 mAh battery. It runs on an Android 5.1.1 Lollipop along with a 1.6 GHz quad-core, rather octa-core processor. That's Snapdragon 616 chipset with a 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of onboard storage with an expandability of 128 gigs. So the next phone in our list is yet another Chinese smartphone manufacturer which disrupted the smartphone industry by releasing K4 Note. Yes, I'm talking about Lenovo. Lenovo's K4 Note is the worthy successor to the Lenovo's K3 Note, which again wants to disrupt the smartphone market. It released Lenovo K4 Note for just a price of $11,999. For that price, it's offering 5.5-inch Full HD IPS display with a 401 ppi if you want to know, with a 13 megapixel rear shooter, a fingerprint scanner, a 5 megapixel selfie shooter, with, by the way, both can shoot a 1080p video as well, and a fingerprint scanner that works fantabulously well as Lenovo's Vibe X3. It has a full Dolby Atmos front firing speakers which are excellent, which gives boom sound type technology, by the way, in HTC smartphones which we have seen. By the way, it's like it comes with a and VR headset also. The Lenovo has done a quite good job by just putting it in the firmware, the and VR headset technology, so that you can view anything that you have in the smartphone by the and VR headset and have an immersive experience. It runs and it has a 1.3 GHz octa-core MediaTek MT6753 chipset along with a Mali 720 MP3 GPU with a 3 gigs of RAM. By the way, the last phone in our list had 2 gigs of RAM, that's Honor 5X. It tops out with a gig RAM extra. It has 16 gigs of inbuilt storage and an expandability up to 128 gigs and a dual SIM smartphone with 4G on either of the SIMs. And the second spot in our list tops out by another Chinese mobile company, Coolpad. Coolpad released its Coolpad Note 3 last year and disrupted the smartphone market. They offered great value for money products at never seen prices, as I said earlier, and it is even want to disrupt the smartphone market by releasing its lighter version of Coolpad Note 3 with an even more affordable price, Coolpad Note 3 Lite. On the feature front, it has a 5-inch 720p HD display. It's not groundbreaking though, but it will do the job done. It has a 13 megapixel camera, the same camera we found on Coolpad Note 3. It has 3 gigs of RAM. It is the only phone which offers 3 gigs of RAM for 7K. It has a 1.3 GHz MediaTek MT6735 processor with a clock speed of 1.3 GHz quad-core and Cortex A53 cores, if you want to know. It has a 5 megapixel selfie shooter and it runs on Android 5.1 Lollipop with its cool UI on top of Android, and the only phone which has a fingerprint sensor for 7K is Coolpad Note 2 Lite. That made us to believe that it can disrupt the smartphone market. Powering it all up is a 2500 mAh battery. And the wait is over. The first spot in our list goes to a Chinese smartphone manufacturer, a newly based Chinese smartphone manufacturer which wants to disrupt the smartphone market 2 years earlier what Xiaomi did. Yes, I'm talking about LeEco's La One. Yes, LeEco, which was formerly known as Lite, the well-known Chinese smartphone manufacturer, is yet to disrupt the smartphone company, which Xiaomi did 2 years earlier with its LeEco 11S. It's just for 10,999. For that price, it offers all aluminum body, the same like an iPhone. It has a 13 megapixel rear camera which can shoot 4K recording that some smartphones even in 33,000 price segment does not do. And it has a 5 megapixel selfie shooter. It has 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of expandable storage. The sad thing is that it does not have an expandability via SD card. And by the way, it has 3 gigs of RAM, and it has a 5.5 inch Full HD IPS display with a 401 ppi, as I said earlier. It runs on Android 5.1 Lollipop with its EUI on top of it. It's a fairly, not like, it's like a Chinese skin on top of Android like Huawei does and other smartphone companies does. And not to forget, it has a 2.2 GHz MediaTek octa-core processor. It fairly runs smoothly. It has a fairly decent spec and best spec, and it has fairly no compromises made for that price. Powering it all up is a 3000 mAh battery, which you can get through the day for a medium kind of usage. So today we took a look at the top 5 smartphones, rather best smartphones under $200 or 13,000 INR. If you want to buy any of the smartphones, I will be listing the links right below that like button. Yeah, aside from that, this winds up the video. Hopefully enjoyed the content. If you did anything like the one who's holding the camera behind Jason feeling, make sure to go crack that like button. And if you have any constructive criticisms, let me know in the comments down below. Please do subscribe for more content. Until then, this has been Jansen from Tech Teachers, reminding you that cheap smartphones are the best smartphones for this price segment. Thanks for watching. Climbing up the ladder while you in need of a shovel.